In this third step of the process, this is where we identify the billing information and shipping information for this project. In our example, we have a single PO for manufacturer ABC. From the available addresses that we identified in the previous steps, we now have the option of identifying, or rather specifying to our manufacturer where we want them to ship this order. In our example here, we had store information, we had our customer information, and we also had the job site information. For the purposes of our demo, let's assume we want manufacturer ABC to ship this PO to the job site. We simply select the job site from the drop-down list. In addition, on the right-hand side, we see the list of project files that we attached earlier. We now have the option of selecting which files, if any, we wish to submit to this manufacturer. In our example, let's assume that we have a custom desk that we want manufacturer ABC to provide a quote on. So we simply put a check mark next to this project, rather next to this file, and it will be sent along with the PO. On the left-hand side of the screen, we have the purchase order that we assign to this manufacturer's products. By clicking on the PO, we can expand it and see the actual catalogs that comprise this PO. If you recall, in the first step of the process, we merged the products from these two catalogs into this single PO, which is why now we have them available under that single PO. On the right-hand side of the screen, we have the option of defining whether this is an order or a request for quote. Now, keep in mind this will depend on your manufacturer, as some manufacturers may not accept requests for quote. Similarly, this is where we can identify if we have more than one account number with any specific manufacturer. This is where we can identify which one of our accounts we want invoiced for this order. On the left-hand side, we can actually view the items that were generated with respect to each of the catalogs in that kit file. By clicking on this first catalog, we can see the global style information that came through from 2020 design, and we can also see the line items that came through from that kit file. As a visual cue, you'll note that some of the items are in black and some are in blue. The items that are in blue, it's just a visual cue to you that these items have been modified from their default dimensions in the 2020 design file. Also, any notes that were entered by the designer in 2020 design will carry through, and those items notes would be highlighted here. However, we do have the ability to add an item note at this point simply by clicking on the Edit Item button, and we can type in our note. Click the Save button, and we're done. This item now has a note attached to it that will be sent to the manufacturer. By clicking on the link on the second catalog, we get to see the products from that catalog and its own global styles associated with it. Similarly, by clicking on the line items link, we get to see the line items for the products that came from that catalog. We do also have the ability to add any items to this order that were not in that design file simply by clicking on this custom items link. Now, these items don't have to necessarily be custom items. They may be items that we forgot to add to the order. For example, we may want to order another base cabinet. We simply click on the Add button here, and we would enter the product information as it pertains to the item we wish to add. Keep in mind, however, that at this point, the items that we add here don't necessarily need to be cabinets or items per se. They can actually be anything that we can order from this manufacturer that is not necessarily in our 2020 design catalog. For example, we may want to order marketing collateral, maybe some replacement doors, some hardware. Whatever the case may be, this screen allows you to add products to the purchase order that are not in that kit file. In our example, however, if you recall, we had that custom desk. So I'm going to go ahead and give it this fictitious code here of custom 999, and I want one of those. Now, since I have the product specifications in that PDF file, I'm not going to provide any information with respect to dimensions. However, I will provide the manufacturer with a note to see the PDF for specs. We simply click on the Insert button, and this custom desk has now been added to our purchase order. We are now ready for the final step in our process, which is essentially a review of the project information.